I want to know, everybody in the chat, what are your tips for staying awake during a long drive? Because
Chrissy, I literally had a boyfriend in high school that he was at Princeton, and we would drive back from Princeton into Chicago area, which is where I used to live. And he did the same thing. He was slapping himself, and I'm like, please stop! I can't sleep.
I literally pulled
oh,
over.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
like,
I'm sorry.
nothing.
Me trying to keep myself awake is ruining your nap.
I look back and I go, God, what a diva! I can't believe I did that.
And I'm not doing drugs, by the way, people in the chat who are suggesting
Mm-mm.
drugs. I'm not a drug
I
person.
remember I used to take day trips to Disney. Living in Vegas, I would get up like at the crack of dawn and drive down there. It's like a 4.5 hour drive from here to Anaheim. So I would drive there, spend all day at Disney, ride all the rides, like on her feet, whatever, like Disney stuff, and then drive back that night because I had to work the next day. And it would be the middle of the night, and I'm like doing this. And there were times where I would like pull over and take like a 20-minute power nap, but I would roll the windows down and have the air just in my face, and that helped me keep awake. And like millennial, if you go, well, now they're called millennial playlists, but if you like pick a 90s playlist, you're just like,
Yeah.
When I was like, I think 17, we would go so we lived in like northern Illinois, and it was 21 age for drinking, and in Wisconsin it was 18. So we would just cross the border and we'd go to the bars, and of course I was too young, but they didn't care back then. Like they would just like they didn't card you or anything, and we would go drink for a few hours or whatever, and then we would drive back, and it would take like an hour. There was one time we were all asleep, literally asleep in the back. The driver started falling asleep, and it's like going over into the median. Thank God it's Chicago and it was flat. But it woke me up, and I was like, oh my God, screaming at the driver, and just wasn't our time. We had angels.
Wow. That's lucky. I have straight up, not because I was drunk, but tired. Who knows?
well, yeah, you did,
Driving
like, the
back
whole
from a
one-eyed
comedy gig,
driving. You're
driving back from like Uncle Vinny's in Jersey, like I know I have straight off nodded off on the road, and it like that was like,
That's
okay,
scary.
God had me in his hands,
yeah.
because like you ever like you're like, oh, I just woke up and I'm driving, you know what I mean? And I'm sure it was just for a second my eyes closed, but it feels like forever.
Yeah.
That's bad. That
That'll
scares
get your
the shit
adrenaline
out of
going.
me.
bad.
It's the scariest
Or
thing
like
in the
you
world.
zone out. The falling asleep thing, I get where you're not off and you're like, oh my God, thank you, Lord Jesus. But what really gets me is when you're on autopilot, or you're so tired that you're kind of on autopilot. And like I used to work graveyard. I hated graveyard, but there were
Yeah, and you
times when
feel
I was
like,
coming home from graveyard,
you're
and
like,
I don't remember coming home. Like I literally do not remember getting in my car and driving home. And I'm like, somehow I made it in one piece. This is wild. Thank you, Jesus, because
that's
I
scary.
don't remember even driving home. It's insane.
Thank God for autopilot.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I'll go, oh, automated cars, but we were in Austin and we saw an automated car stopping at the light, and guess what? The light turned green and fucking
saw that.
automated car stayed there. And I had my camera on, I was recording it. I was
It
like,
looked like it tried to move a little
I
bit,
was
but it couldn't. It was
I
weird.
was yelling at the car, by the way, with no driver in it. I was like, "Look at you! You think you're such hot shit? The light is green, you fucking asshole!"
We had an automated car here in Vegas on Boulder Highway. I have to find the article. It was a few years ago when they were first becoming a thing. We had an automated car here. I don't know if it was a test run or what. I don't know. But it was on Boulder Highway here in Vegas, and it did not stop for the stoplight, and it killed like 2 people.
Oh my God.
It's not funny, but it killed
I think
like
that
2
happened in
people.
a few
And I was
places
like,
with those.
"Oh,
That's
a problem."
crazy.
I
I would
know.
not trust that thing.
The other day about how she hates being on a walk, and it's like you can always hear if a car is coming, right? But like the electric vehicles, you
You
don't.
can't hear them.
And she says it's the most unnerving thing when they come by.
Look at this, look at this. Okay, when did I see this? This was, okay, August 13th. I
Is
said
it the
driverless
white car in the middle, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I said,
Yeah.
"Driverless cars, the future is here." And, okay, I was a couple of beers in at this point, and I just, because we were seeing these were all over Austin, because we were in town for the American Liberty
my God.
Awards.
Yeah.
These were everywhere. You
Listen,
saw one
okay,
on
wait,
every block.
Before you play the video, Austin also, and I know this because I have friends that live there and I go there religiously. Austin also started that whole electric scooter thing where you like rent the
Oh,
electric
the
scooters.
bird
It
scooters? Yeah.
yeah, it lasted like 6 months before they yanked them because of stuff like this, because people would leave them in the road, they
Yep.
would
Oh
get
my
drunk
God.
and, like, drive them into stuff. It was bad. Anyway, so Austin's a mess, is my point.
Austin's a mess.
A mess.
And behold, automated cars.
This is an empty car right here. There's no driver. No driver. 2023. This car is waiting for a red light. Look, no driver.
And then
Nobody's
it
driving.
stopped.
Look, it's so fucking stupid. It doesn't even know when it's time to go.
Was there somebody in the
And
back?
you're like,
No,
wait.
that's how dumb
Oh my
you are.
God.
Yeah, you know why you don't know how it's time to go? Because there's no one driving this fucking car. Wow,
That's
I'm
so
so
weird.
happy the future is here. And then we have driverless cars.
Look at everybody going around it. Is there anybody in the back? No.
Wow, way
Oh
to
my
go.
God.
Idiots.
Can you imagine if
Wow,
you
dude.
I was
asked for
so
an Uber
angry.
and that's what you got? Like,
I would be
heck no.
pissed. I would not get in that thing.
I would not get in a car that showed up
No.
with nobody driving.
Heck
No.
no.
I'm like, no, you're not gonna fucking Anne Hesh me,
No.
okay? You're not gonna take me out like that.
Mm-mm.
So
Sorry.
we have in Vegas, we have the Tesla tunnel, and it goes from the new casino Resorts World, which I love, by the way. Next time you come to Vegas, go to Resorts World. But anyway, it runs underneath it and it goes from Resorts World to the convention center. And I thought they were all driverless cars, but they're not. So we took it, me and my boyfriend took it one time. We are going to Cowboy Christmas last year in December. And the guy was driving the car and I was like, okay, I gotta ask. I was like, I thought these were driverless. Like, wasn't that the point? And he goes, yeah, that was the point. He goes, however, the tunnel affects the electrical stuff and they literally won't function. And I was like,
God.
oh, great. Hail Mary,
My,
mother full of grace, we're gonna die. But
see,
yeah,
that's crazy.
they won't
Wait,
run.
you-
Like, if there's a certain electrical interference, they won't run. They just
You
won't.
they didn't think of that before they built it. Like they're not that smart to know that this is
That's
gonna work.
exactly right, LeeAnn.
Like that is very weird.
All I'm gonna say, LeeAnn, is look at what Twitter has become X, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, that is. But wait, you were saying that those cars are so quiet, the electric ones?
You can't hear them. You literally cannot hear
Dude,
them.
this old lady busted out someone's window because her dog was in the car, but it was an electric car. And I was coming out and I seen her doing it and I knew because I was parked by it. I was like, that is an electric car. Like it's like one of those eco cars and it's very quiet. Like you could see the dog's fur blowing though from the AC. Like when I went into the store and I'm coming out of the store and this lady is breaking her car window. And I was like, I don't even want to stay for this. I don't know what's going to happen. Like this lady is going to beat your ass, dude, because the car was on. Like, what are you doing?
It's a problem.
Old people don't know about those, dude.
You literally cannot hear them come up beside you. And like Amazon has them. You can't hear Amazon.
No,
We have a whole
it's
bunch of
so
them here in
crazy.
Vegas. You can't hear them come up behind you. Like
Your
it's
dog
wild.
looks like a Muppet. It's like a stuffed animal.
It's
Hey,
Waffles.
Waffles.
Oh, I miss you.
Waffles, is your dad Jim Henson?
Dave Chandler, as cool as the Tesla is, I don't trust him. Same. Don't trust him.
No, I don't trust him either. Heck no.
Like,
Mm.
oh,
I
I threw a
don't
fit.
trust them.
I threw a fit when I landed in Austin, picked up my rental car, and then I drove back and forth from Austin to Houston, like basically for a week. They tried to, and it was my bad because I picked I guess I rented my car on like kayak.com and I was just go for the cheapest and I picked like dealer's choice or something, which was like because I was like, I don't need a big car or a little car. It's just me and Lila and our bag. So I don't need like I could take a bigger car, I could take a little car. I'm not a size.
Lila fits in like a toddler's.
Lila fits in the glove compartment. Like she's got, a tiny little pouch of belongings. So I thought their choice meant like, oh, they could give me an SUV, they could give me a compact car. I don't care. But I get there, I go to pick up my car. He goes, "Oh, I'm giving you an electric car." And I was like,
I would be like, no.
the fucking phone. And I was
Heck no.
already surly from traveling and dehydrated and like bitchy. And I was like, No, 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 no. I was like, I am not, I was like, sorry, I don't have time on this trip to be driving a new type of car. I don't have time to be learning a new car. I'm like, I don't have time to be looking up where to fucking charge a new
Yeah,
car.
no.
I was like, give me a regular ass car.
Mm.
And, he was sweet, and I was being a cunt, just fighting with him, and I was like, "Give me a regular car," and he's like, "You picked dealer's choice." I'm like, "I don't want that," you know?
I
Kill
want an
him.
electric truck.
No,
I'm like,
okay, so I have
I want a fucking
coworkers that have,
electric
like,
car.
electric cars. They have, like, the Ford, the Mach-E and all that, whatever, and they're pretty, and they come with a lot of bells and whistles, but here's the thing, they drove from here to, like, Los Angeles or Anaheim or San Diego, which is max a 5-hour drive, which is nothing comparatively, right? And one of my coworkers, my girl coworker, she was like, we were doing fine. And then because I guess the temperature, because it's hot, because it's summer, it like started flashing at her and it was like, you need to charge. And she couldn't find a charging
Oh
station.
my
So
Ew.
it was
God, so
she
scary.
almost just like died in the middle. Well, okay, I'm being dramatic, but she almost just got stranded in the middle of the desert because her electric car was like, hey, so it's hot outside and we
Yeah.
can't make it to your destination and we need a charging station. Here's your closest charging stations. And they were awful, except for one in like a crappy area in some
Ugh.
BFE town in the middle
Yeah.
between here and
Here,
California.
go here,
You could
charge your
not
car, and
believe
get
no.
anally raped.
Nope.
I'm drinking
Yeah.
old
No,
water that's
thank
been on
you.
my desk for a month. I have no idea how
Nope.
old this water is.
The fact that you have to like, okay, I'm gonna be driving from A to B and I have to map out my charging. No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I would
Never.
not trust
Like
that on a
people
road
that
trip,
in
especially if I was by myself. Fuck that, dude. No way.
Mm-mm.
That's why they want us to have them though, so they can just turn them off and do whatever they
Also,
want. Make us
Exactly.
crash
what,
off a cliff. Like, you know what? We don't like what you have to say
Yep.
online.
30 plus
Yep.
minutes
Drive it
to charge
off.
your car, so you're supposed to just, like, go to a fucking Buc-ee's or a Wawa and sit there for 30, 40, 60 minutes and just let your car charge? Like, what if you
Yeah,
have somewhere
or
to be?
hours depending on the place because some
No,
places
fuck
can't afford
that.
like the high end ones, and so it takes hours instead of minutes. Like, and that's just from here to California. Can you imagine if you were like, let's say you're in Galveston, Texas, and
Mm-mm.
you need to go to Austin? That's like a 9-hour drive. You're never going to make it. Or you're driving cross country from what, especially Texas, because it's so big, but you're driving cross, you're never going to make it. Like, oh
Mm-mm.
no, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Ugh,
Nope, no,
That's
thank
a
you.
pain.
scary. I
Absolutely not.
screamed at
Mm.
him, and he was like, "Sorry, the only thing we have is a luxury Cadillac," which, like,
Mm-mm.
I know I'm about to complain about having a nice car, but I was livid because I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, because I don't actually feel comfortable in something that's, like, more, like, newer than 2010, and so he's trying to put me in this brand new Cadillac with no fucking buttons and just screens everywhere. I was like, "I don't want this," and he was trying to charge me more. He charged me way more per day, and then
Mm.
I walked to another person, and I was like, "I feel like I'm getting fucked here, like, I feel like you just charged me more." Oh, this Cadillac, it was parked on a slopey, like, presentation ramp with some other
Oh
cars.
god.
I'm like, "Oh, you know this shit is expensive if it's on a fucking presentation ramp." And I was like,
Yep.
and I don't mean to complain about having nice things, but I just knew I was getting, like, charged up the ass extra for this thing, and I was like, "Really? You don't have any regular ass cars? It's either electric or this, like,
Yeah.
fancy ass Cadillac." And then finally the guy was able to, like, get the price down a little bit. He's like, "We really don't have anything else. Here's the fancy ass Cadillac." And I'm mad driving this nice car, like, out the lot. I was like, "Ugh." I'm like I hate syncing my phone to it. I'm
Mhm.
like, it always takes so long. And I was like, I don't want this car to know my phone. I don't want it to get into my business.
Yeah, I know it is. I
So
don't like that
yeah.
shit.